He's back here on the Rich Eisen Show, ladies and gentlemen, from Prime Video, and a Super Bowl champion in his own right, Richard Sherman. Good to see you, Richard. How are you?
I'm great. Anytime I get to see you, Rich, it's a great day for me.
Back at you. Right back at you. Is that you? We're on ESPN. I'm always fascinated by backgrounds. That ESPY award. What's that ESPY award for?
Ooh.
Over your right shoulder. What's that ESPY award for?
That was Breakthrough Athlete. And,
Nice.
After the whole Crabtree ordeal.
Okay.
That thing.
That ordeal, Always have a marking time with that one.
That's what earned you the break? That's how you broke through? Come on now.
Yeah, it wasn't leading the league in interceptions that year and number one defense and all that great stuff. It was that.
Okay. And now there's some other great stuff behind you. What a great setup you got there, man. Where are the game balls from? Where are the game balls from? Super Bowl? I see a Super Bowl logo behind you.
Yeah, Super Bowls, NFC Championship games. One of them's from that Thanksgiving game in San Francisco where we ate turkey on the field, had a couple interceptions that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. Your pod as well. I love it. Awesome. Let's just jump right into it. The Seahawk fans right now are out of their skulls. Do you believe in them? Do you think that they have got the chance to go the whole distance? If I'm not mistaken, the last time you saw them was that overtime night on Prime Video against the Rams, one of the games of the year, to say the least. What do you think?
No question. I think they have a chance. I think that's one team they don't want to see in a divisional is the Rams. They'd hope to see them a little later on down the line, so they're hoping San Francisco can go to Philadelphia and get a win. But this team has everything that they need. I mean, this defense is the real deal. They're phenomenal. They're sound. They're fast. They're aggressive. I mean, in that San Francisco 49ers game, you could just feel it through the TV. They're running and hitting, taking advantage of every opportunity. That interception, where Christian kind of bobbled it back to the defender. I mean, that only happens when you're hustling and running to the ball.
Right.
And I think that just rewarded all the hard work they put in that day. The only question mark is the question mark that has been all season is can Sam do it at a high level? Can he get that monkey off of his back that's been haunting him the last few years? And if he can, that'd be phenomenal. And this team is honestly the favorites to win the Super Bowl if he can play like he did that last drive. And I think that last drive of the Rams game did a lot to give him, the Seahawks, and the fans confidence that, hey, when the game is on the line, they can depend on Sam to get the job done and go down and win the football game.
Well, I mean, the question is hasn't he answered it already, Richard, right? I mean, because it wasn't just the last drive of your game, it was the last quarter plus overtime where he got it done. And then in the same setup as last year, you want to talk about deja vu, right? Having to go on the road to a division opponent where you're either the 1 seed or you're starting the playoffs on the road. You don't win the division. You got to go on the road to start the playoffs. Same deja vu, except it wasn't all over again. It didn't end in a barrage of turnovers where everybody's wondering if he turned back into a pumpkin. The Seahawks don't play in a way that they demand Sam has to carry the day, but he did on that Thursday night against the Rams, Richard.
Yeah, they don't play that way, but in the playoffs, teams will make you play the way you don't want to play. They'll make you play to your weakness, not your strength. And I think that's what great coordinators will do in the playoffs. They won't allow you to do what you do best. They'll allow you to do what you do worse and see if you can beat them that way. They won't allow you to throw to your number one receiver. You're going to have to throw to your number two or your tight end, or you're going to have to run the ball. If you run the ball well, they're going to make you throw it. And so I know he's slayed the dragon that is the Rams once in Chris Shula and that defense that has haunted him so badly, but I don't think they're done with him. And I think unless the Carolina Panthers can somehow upset the LA Rams this week, they're going to have to see him again, and he's going to have to conquer that dragon. He's going to have to conquer that mountain again. And if he can do that, I think that goes a long way to cementing his legacy, not only in Seattle, but also cooling the talks about, hey, he's just this game manager, or he's this, or all these labels that are out there about everybody. It cements him as a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, and this team as a team that's going to be one to contend with for years to come. Okay,
so then let's jump in here to the best team you've seen all year long. I'm looking at all the Prime Video games on my grid here. the best team you saw all year that you think can now go win it all? Is it Seattle?
Oh yeah, it's Seattle.
It
was the day we saw. It was the Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Rams. I mean, it felt like the best two teams. And I mean, Stafford's performance that day was magical. It was magnificent. And if he doesn't win the MVP, then Rich, I don't know what they're doing with the award anymore, because this is just silly. What he threw for 457 in that game in a loss, and he looked fantastic. Obviously, all the distractions with Puka Nacua and the stream, and was he going to do the dance and all that were that same week. But Puka went for 225, I want to say, on 12 grabs, and they looked fantastic, and they lost. And so it looked like two of the best teams in football that day that we got to watch, and it looked like we watched the MVP of the National Football League. If Drake May gets it, it'd be great for him. And what he's done for New England and Mike Vrabel and that team has been fantastic. But I think it's hard not to give it to Stafford this year.
Richard Sherman of Prime Video in a all-time great for the Seattle Seahawks here on the Rich Eisen Show. What'd you make of John Harbaugh getting fired, Richard?
Rich, I don't know if you saw the graphic. There was a picture online that showed the field goal, and it showed inside Harbaugh gets fired, outside Tomlin gets fired. And I think honestly I think that was accurate, and I'm not sure, because sometimes it's not because he's not a fantastic coach, and I think he'll find a job immediately, if not somebody firing their current coach to hire him, which might have just happened. But I think sometimes it just runs its course. 18 years somewhere coaching a football team, and sometimes not the message gets stale, but you just want some new life, some new blood, and you want to see if something else is better. And I don't think you can get better than John Harbaugh, just like I don't think you can get much better than Mike Tomlin. But I think when you're somewhere for as long as they've been at these places, as he's been in Baltimore and Tomlin has been in Pittsburgh, the fans grow bored. Even if you're as consistent and as successful as they've been, it's almost redundant. They're like, hey, why are all these exciting things happening around us, and we're not going with the fads? We don't have this new exciting offensive coordinator or coach or this or that. You're just, it's like a Ford. You're making the Ford F-150 every single year. It's fantastic. It sells great. It gets the job done, and it's reliable. But you're watching people build Teslas and this car and this sports car, and you're like, hey, why don't we try some of that stuff? And sometimes you go down that road and you end up in this coaching cycle that you don't want to be in, where you're firing coach every 2-3 years, and you're going to miss having a consistent coach for 18 years. But we'll see how it goes. I know he'll get a job soon. Well,
there's no doubt about that. And so you think, again, because I had Tomlin on yesterday, he seems as invigorated as ever. Like he seems to be the same guy. The results might not be the same from the beginning of his career. But you think maybe that even though the ball went in the spot on the meme where Harbaugh got fired as opposed to Tomlin, that let's just say we smash cut to Tuesday, the Texans, who come into this wild card weekend with the longest win streak in the NFL, beats the Steelers, and maybe handily, you think we might be in the same situation talking about Tomlin as we have been about Harbaugh this week, Richard?
I do. I think it's possible. And it's not any fault of Tomlin's. I think Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the history of the National Football League. And I think he does a great job of inspiring his players, getting the best out of them. But sometimes that outside noise gets so loud that the ownership group feels like they have no choice. And again, just like with Harbaugh's situation, I think there would be teams with head coaches employed right now that would be considering, hey, if Tomlin's available, we may need to change some things. We may need to figure some things out. You may need to figure out a way to bring him in because of how consistent he is, how respected he is, how his resume and his reputation precedes him, how players speak about him when they played for him. They speak about him in such regard and such respect. And I think any team would be blessed to have him, and we'll see if Pittsburgh wants to continue.
So an individual who's been with an organization for a long time and has been terrific in that spot gets tossed aside because somebody better might be coming along. Are you saying coaches are now being treated like players in the National Football League, Richard? I said it. And I know I'm trying to talk in your language. Am I not talking your language right now, Richard Sherman?
You're talking my language. You're talking my language.
Right?
It's the microwave society. It's just where we are now. It's transfer portal. It's, hey, what have you done for me lately? Hey, is it fast? Is it quick? Can I get it right now? Like, and I don't necessarily respect it, and I don't think it's sustainable in the long term. That's why you see Tennessee Titans. Like, you thought firing Mike Vrabel was the right move. Now you fire Callahan. Now you have no idea where you're going with your franchise. And Mike Vrabel's is the 2 seed in the AFC with a fantastic quarterback and right where he should be. So I think sometimes you get so caught up in chasing the new fads and the new hotness that the consistency and foundational football gets lost. That's why these quarterbacks aren't going. That's why you go to a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers instead of going with the backup quarterback, because you're like, hey, I think 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played in 5 years, is a better fit and gives us a better chance to win than the rookie coming in that we've seen all season and part of this season. So it's weird. It's different.
Okay. Well, you're a spring chicken compared to 44, Richard. I mean, has your phone rang at all? Did your phone ring anymore? No.
No. They ring me to try to come coach, but I'm enjoying my time on Prime and that space. But maybe in 5-6 years down the line, if Prime doesn't want to bring me back, then I'll look into the coaching world.
Okay, you like what sort of coach? What sort of position? DC, HC? What do you got for me, Richard? Can you be an HC in this league? I mean, yeah. Phillips says you could be. So
I can motivate men and lead men into battle and lead a football team and an organization, no question about it. But I'd start low and work my way up. I still think you got to learn the coaching and respect the process within the game and respect the game. So I try to work my way up as quickly as I could, but start where I need to start and get to where I need to get. But hopefully Amazon keeps me on as long as they're around.
All right, there you go. I have a feeling. I've just looked up. Amazon will be around. I'm seeing that right here in my notes. Amazon will be around, so we'll see that. Offensive coordinator Michael Crabtree, right? That's who your OC is.
That's who I'm going with. That's who I'm going with. Biletnikoff winner.
Are you and the Seahawks back in the day, the Legion of Boom, that crew tight? Do you guys have like a text chain or anything like that?
We do. We have a lot of text chains and we have Instagram group chats. We have a lot of things. We are as tight as ever. I just talked to Bobby yesterday or day before.
What a season, by the way. Holy cow! I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't say that, right? Bobby Wagner. That's a first ballot guy. If there's any other human being walking the planet, what a season he just had.
It's unbelievable how consistent he's been over a career. It should be studied. I mean, he has the second most All-Pros, tied with Jerry Rice, one of the greatest players to ever play this game of football. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, just throw the award out, throw the jackets away, and retire it. I think he's the definition of first ballot Hall of Famer of what the NFL stands for and what an all-time great looks like.
All right, I mean, I would ask you who's on the text chain, but that would lead to who's not. Right? I mean, yeah, I don't want to. Right. I don't want to do that. Did Pete Carroll's firing hit the text chain? And you guys talking about it, Richard?
Yeah. We always talk about things that happen with Pete because you want better for him, and unfortunately, it looks bad. And now they're speculating, about Brennan and all this and nepotism and all these things. If people using words they've never used in their life, they're like, "Yeah, he shouldn't have been nepotistic." I'm like, "Well, I don't even think that's a word, guys." But
they're messing with a Stanford guy there, so be careful. I understand. Right.
But it's unfortunate because you want him to go out on top. You want him to have success. But hey, if his retirement plan is the Raiders paying him $16 million to leave, then hey, I'm still happy for our experiences and our memories, and hopefully he and Glenda go out and ride off into the sunset.
Well, I mean, I love the guy, and I watched him teach a class at USC, Richard, where he reached out to these kids talking about the game, his life, and sharing so much with them, as I'm sure he did with you and the rest of your Legion of Boomers and everyone else on that dynastic team. I wonder if you just want to pound the table for his potential Hall of Fame credentials, Richard, what he did for you and what unfortunately wasn't able to be manifested for the Raiders, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, his impact on the game, and I think that's what makes him a Hall of Famer is just his impact on the game, his consistency. I think a lot of the coaching philosophy and cultural, the way people think about football coaches came from him and his line of thinking, and not his first stint in the NFL, but his most recent stint with the Seattle Seahawks coming in 2010, because he brought that college energy, playing music, just having fun, not the serious, I think there was two lines of thought at the time. It's the Bill Belichick, old school Brian Billick, and hey, you got to be tough, you got to be quiet, you got to be practice for 3.5 hours and just grind these guys into the ground. And then you had Pete Carroll's motto where it's like, hey, 2 hours, 15 minutes, in and out, go out there, roll the ball out, have a good time, compete as hard as you can, and come back. Enjoy coming to work every day. Enjoy the guys we have. Get the best out of these unique talents that you have. And I think that's the way coaches think nowadays, especially these younger coaches. They're playing music at practice. They're having basketball hoops and games during meetings, things that were unspeakable in the 80s and early 90s are now standards in NFL locker rooms and on winning teams. So I think that's something, his impact on the game can be seen and felt throughout a number of locker rooms and on winning teams and coaches that are having a lot of success.
Few minutes I have left with you, Richard. Let's talk about the wild card Saturday night contest on Prime Video. What a monster game to be set up for all of us to watch. I will be tuned in, obviously, to what you and the rest of your pregame, post, and halftime crew is talking about for Bears and the Packers. You saw the Bears absolutely stun the Eagles the day after Thanksgiving, and now you got the Packers coming in just a couple weeks after almost sweeping the Bears. What do you make of this game, Richard? What do you got?
I think it's their best case scenario in terms of playoff matchup. I don't think they wanted to run into I don't think the Packers wanted to run into the Eagles or the Seahawks or the Rams or anybody like that. I think a division matchup and a team they're familiar with, a team that they dominate really for 2 games straight, and really it came down to the end, and the Bears are the comeback kids, and Caleb Williams make some plays at the end of both of those games to give them a chance. But the big thing is it's LaFleur. It's almost the same conversation with Harbaugh and Tomlin, that they've been the 7th seed for the last 3 years. And if this was the old playoff format, they wouldn't have made it. And so can they get over the hump? They're obviously the first 7th seed to win a game when they beat Dallas a couple years ago. But can Jordan Love get over the hump? Can he be as safe with the football in the playoffs as he's been during the season? Because the last 2 seasons, they've gone home on his arm. And he's thrown interceptions. I think last year against Philadelphia, he threw 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. The year before against San Francisco 49ers, he threw multiple interceptions, including the last one in the 2-minute drill to close that game. But that's going to be the story of this game. If he can get over the hump and he can play safe and guide his team and not turn the football over, and they can win that game, I think it goes a long way to establishing who he is and establishing who this team is in the future. But if they lose this game, I think coming off a season where you had very high expectations after the Micah Parsons trade, you're going to have some issues on your hand. You're going to have some very difficult questions to answer because of how much you gave up for Micah, and the results being honestly the same as they've been the past 3 seasons. Past 2 seasons.
Half of the North in the playoffs, they're facing each other on Prime Video. 3/4 of the NFC West in the playoffs. In the NFC, it's really a very deep pool, and the first NFC games come up on Saturday, culminating with your game on Prime Video. And as you know all about taking on divisional foes in a playoff game. So just beware to any receiver that says that they're the best going into the game. It gives an opportunity for a defense, just throwing it out there, a defensive back to, say, pick somebody off in the end zone, go up to Kaylee Hartung, and have a moment that can earn them an ESPY to put on the shelf one day. Is that what you're saying, Richard?
I'm just saying the opportunity's there, Rich. It's there, wide open.
It's open. Hey, Richard, great to chat with you. Love seeing what you're doing on Prime Video. Best to you and your fam. Have a great time. Dress warm, but you already knew that.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure I put on multiple layers and get ready for a very, very fun game.
But
I can't wait.
We all know nobody on television looks colder than Tony Gonzalez. Period. End of story. And that's when it's like 60 degrees out. I'm concerned for his safety. Will you tell him that? Okay.
I'm going to tell him when I see him. We're going to bring extra space heaters for him. You know, we're going to do our best.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's start a fire. Controlled. Be careful. But you be well, Richard. Say hi to everybody.
Thank you. I will. You do the same.
That's Prime Video's Richard Sherman, everybody, right here on the Rich Eisen Show here on a family of networks.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.